Hello, and welcome back to the Minetrek.net game server. Yeah, I'm over here on the Minetrek server, kind of touring around the Enterprise D, sort of reminiscing about the process that I spent a good part of 5 years doing, and thought I would, answer a couple of questions. Well, basically respond to a couple of, a lot of things. And the first and foremost is no, my work is not being stolen by the people over at TrekCraft. I want to get that out there right now. What they are doing is they are promoting existing work that a lot of people were involved with, and namely the Enterprise D here, for the purpose of growing the community. And they have done some beautiful work that taking the Enterprise D and taking it to the next level, taking it down and just just designing some fantastic artwork based off of this build. And I have to tell you, it's just I see it and I'm just blown away that we built this ship and now we can see it in ways that we have never seen it done before. And hats off to those folks for being able to pull that off. That being said, the Enterprise D here was initially started by Bluephobes. Well, technically, the hull was imported by MHeller and then worked on by Bluephobes, and then I came along and started building the ship out. And while this build uses about 10% of the Ed Whitefire designs, maybe 20% of the Sternbach plans, I would say a good 70% of it overall on the interior is my own personal design. And to see my work on display the way that the folks over at TrekCraft have been able to do it just blows my mind away. And I'm thrilled that it is generating a lot of positive interest for the community. Speaking of the community, as you're all aware, the community sort of kind of had a split up a couple of years back, and there is now the TrekCraft server and the Minetrek server. And while most of the people that got their start on the Minetrek server have migrated now over to the TrekCraft server, there are a few folks that have regrettably stopped being part of the community, and regrettably, I have to kind of list myself as one of them. The split up in the community really did suck a lot of wind out of my sail, and was just one more nail in the coffin. And then these last couple of summers, and then through COVID and stuff, I think really did drive home a few more nails. And I have to be honest with you, when the community broke up, it was devastating. It was a gut wrench, and uh, I kind of understand why the people that were involved with it decided to do what they're going to do, and I don't think anybody fully understands just how quickly it fell apart. Or I didn't say fell apart. I would say along the lines of migrated away from traditional, Minetrek to new Minecraft or TrekCraft. And MHeller has spent well over a decade, 12 years now, keeping the Minetrek server up and running, paying the bills, giving us a place to build. And I would hope that no matter how you feel about MHeller, you would acknowledge the fact that without her contribution and keeping things going, none of this would be possible. Not any of it. Not the Minecraft server, not the TrekCraft server, none of it. And in that regard, a shout out to Halkoon, because without his inspiration, I don't think any of this would be possible either. I'm sure it would eventually came to fruition, but boy, he really kicked it off, didn't he? That being said, I have spent well over a decade now building starships, and of all the starships I built, the Enterprise D was both one of the most rewarding and one of the most challenging, one of the most frustrating, one of the most aggravating, one of the most joyous builds I've ever been a part of. And I have to tell you, I remember so much details about this build that I could probably write a book about the whole process, about how I designed it, then realized that the plans were missing so much material that needed to be in the build, and how Sternbach's plans were lacking, how Whitefire's plans were lacking. They're both beautiful plans and worthy of being built 100%, you know, block per block or pixel per pixel, and which is what they're doing over at the TrekCraft server now. I think Calvin's been working handedly on the new Enterprise D build for their server. based off the Wi-Fi plans, and I think he's doing a splendid job. It's beautiful work. In fact, a lot of the builds they're doing over there on the TrekCraft server are just jaw dropping. They're just fantastic work. It amazes me. You have to see it to believe it. While I am incredibly proud of all the builds we've done here on the Minetrek server, I do know that without the Minetrek server, none of it would be possible. Nothing would be possible. And I've spent better part of 5 years building the Enterprise D, God knows how, but 2 years, 2.5 years on the Enterprise E, then all the other builds I've built, and maybe the last couple of years I've been working on the Exodus, and now thanks to my friends over at the TrekCraft server, I have a new Fearless to play with. And thank you very much for that, by the way, guys. I appreciate that. But when the community fractured, a lot of my desire to build kind of was sucked out with it, and it's nobody's fault. I mean, it just things came together, and it just sort of, just it was draining. It was a hard time for all of us, and I didn't want to step on any toes any more than I'd already had. And I want to value my friendship with MHeller. I want to support my friends at TrekCraft. I want everyone to get along, but I understand that that's not possible. And again, as much as you may or may not view MHeller's contribution in the same light that I do, I would hope that you would acknowledge whomever you are. I'm not saying any one person. I'm just saying in general that without what she did, none of this would be possible. Period. You can disagree with me. That's entirely up to you. But in my opinion, I believe that I am being truthfully and accurate in my statement. And to that, I personally, you know, will always be thankful to MHeller for everything she's done. And I want to be as supportive as I can. And one of the problems I have is I don't have the desire really to build anymore. I kind of when the community fractured, I just sort of kind of realized that it was time to step aside and let other folks enjoy the process of building such builds like the Enterprise D here, as Calvin's building currently over on the over on the TrekCraft server. And the beautiful work that Panic did in this hangar, and working with Panic on designing this hangar. I mean, we utilized all the space we could in this build, and that's one thing you realize when you're working with blueprints and then you get a 3D hull. Sometimes you got a lot more space than you think you got. You got to use it up. And instead of filling it with empty space like they did with some of the other builds that I've seen, previous builds to the Enterprise D, a lot of people tried their hands at big builds and they're just full of empty space. Take a look at one of the Star Destroyers for that, for proof of that. But so we ended up a lot of extra space. So me and Panic, we used what we got, and this is what Panic came out with. I mean, he's put a lot of his time and effort into this hangar, and then Himmler, she came in and she did some tweaking and fixing, and then Panic came back and did some more tweaking and fixing, and so on and so forth, and we ended up this beautiful, beautiful hangar. And as I go through and fly through this ship, it amazes me the amount of work other people put into it. Folks like ShadowApler with the grotto and the hydroponics bays, and you know uh, the Zen garden, and all the work around the rim on decks 9 and 10. That was all ShadowApler. I mean, he designed all those rooms and filled all those rooms. That grotto alone just is just amazing. And then in the hangar, of course, main engineering and all the fun stuff built in between. I can remember coming through here and I put down virtually 99% of every block in this ship by volume. I remember, what is that, 100 plus videos of the Enterprise D over the years, and it's still not done. And now they're working on a new version of her. So it's it's one of those things where things evolve over time. And as I said, the community sort of fractured and now has evolved into, the main build server now is the TrekCraft server. That's where all the builders are at now. The TrekCraft server is now migrated to 1.16.5, whereas the Minetrek server is still 1.12. Minetrek server, for all intents and purposes, is now a archive server, and it's historical in every aspect of the way. These builds were all started here. A lot of the builders got their start here. I, that's where I started build. Well, really getting into building was here on the Minecraft server, and the guys on the TrekCraft server all got their start. Most of them got their start on the Minetrek server, and you go through it all, and it's just amazing that a decade into it, we're still building ships, albeit we the the bulk of the builders have migrated from Minetrek to TrekCraft. Again, I'm not really into building anymore. I kind of think around a little bit with everything nowadays. I really wanted to, you know, I wanted to get back into building, but truth be told, given things going on in my life, I really don't think that's possible right now. Again, thank you to the TrekCraft guys. They gave me something to work on over there on their server, and I greatly appreciate that. It was very kind of you all. And I have enjoyed, messing around a little bit, but I have to be honest with everybody. When I start to build anymore, even if I start to play modded Minecraft, anything, I hit this wall where I'm overwhelmed by a sense of dread, like an allergic reaction, like I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing. Um, and I don't blame anybody for that. I just think it's one of those things that happens to you in life when while you're enjoying something, so much tragedy is going on around you. It poisons the thing that you enjoy doing, and that I think is what happened to me. I think the the joy I got from building these big starships was contaminated by the events of real life. And of course, the fracturing of the community sort of kind of, yeah. So that being said, I wanted to deal with a few things that have popped up in recent weeks. The TrekCraft server has gained a lot of notoriety recently because of a lot of the efforts of the TrekCraft team, getting people aware of what's going on. And because of that, I've gotten quite a few communications asking me about my opinion about them using my work. Um, to that, I'd like to say it's not just my work. It's a lot of people went into building the Enterprise D. That from MHeller, Bluephobes, ShadowApler, Ipanic, MadSqurriel, to the degree that he was involved in stuff, Debomb, and other folks. This is not just my build. Well, I can honestly lay claim to the interior design of the ship mostly being my own because I added so much additional material that was way above and beyond the Sternbach plans, way above and beyond the Whitefire plans. I can tell you that I'm extremely proud of the way that Ipanic and Bluephobes and other people have taken the material and just used it in a way that honors all the work that we've all done and given us a lot of different and unique ways of exploiting this build to draw attention to the community. Um, I cannot stress how amazing some of the new illustrations that they have created appear. I tell you, it just blows the mind. And now because of that work, a lot of people that we've always wanted to draw attention, get their attention, are now starting to pay attention. And that is an absolute win for the entire community. It's a win for MHeller, it's a win for myself, it's a win for iPanic, Blue Foes, CreeperBot, everybody. I mean, shoot, CreeperBot alone has designed the interior of over a dozen Enterprise Discovery class. Is it Enterprise? Discovery and Enterprise or Discovery? Anyways, you know what I mean. He's designed over a dozen discoveries. And the work they've done on so many of the other new Star Trek builds, it's just amazing. And I understand that a lot of people wanted to have more material to build with given all the new material that's available. And TrekCraft has migrated to 1.16.5 and they have a beautiful new resource pack that takes advantage of all the new designs and stuff that we've seen in all the new shows and things like that. It gives a lot of the younger folks, um, I say that kiddingly because we all grow old, uh, more material to build the ships that they love. And they have built some beautiful ships over there, and they're still working on them. And I hope that one day I'm inspired to go and start building again. I really do miss it. As I walk through here and I walk around other ships that I have built and that I've seen other people build, but mainly the ones I've built, I miss it. I really do. Um, I get the feeling that even though it's the wrong feeling to have, that I'm the last man standing on the battlefield, you know, and I'm not, of course. I mean, the community's very healthy. It's still ongoing, albeit it's on the TrekCraft server and not the Minecraft server. But again, things evolve and it's painful. And I want to support MHeller and I want to support Minetrek, but I understand that the bulk of the builders have migrated now to TrekCraft, and all my friends are over there. And in the past, I haven't been the greatest friend to folks. Like, I really feel bad. I mean, I can't say I'm sorry to Ipanic enough because I wasn't a good friend to him. I just I didn't have the energy to you know to be a good friend to anybody at that time. And I dropped the ball with Ipanic, and I really cannot apologize enough to the guy. And I'm very happy that you know he's been he's been a hell of a sport about it. And you know, God bless him and everybody else, M. Heller for putting up with all the bull crap and everything else over the years. And thanks to Bluephobes and everybody else for just doing what they could to keep the community alive and well and thriving. I can tell you that some of the work that we're seeing these people do over on the TrekCraft server is just next level. I miss, hanging out with a lot of people, and thankfully, they kind enough to invited me over there to hang out, and I'm sure, you know, that community is going to continue to grow. It's going to grow and grow and grow, and that is good because I can't wait to see, what happens with Star Trek and what ships are built next and how they build them and stuff like that. And I tell you, there's something to be said about walking, on the deck of a starship that was just an inspiration a few months back. It's just, oh hey, I just saw that in that show, and here it is. Now I can walk the decks of it and just chill and check it all out. It's just amazing. And again, it's all due because we have a place or a couple of places now to go to do that. And I hope in the future that the community continues to grow, continues to remain strong, and new and wonderful other illustrations of newer starships come out that show people what can be done in Minecraft. And I do hope that Calvin, when he starts building out his Enterprise D, can solve a lot of the problems that I ran into with this one, and that he accounts for all the fun times that he's going to have, and how much he's going to miss them when they're gone, because at some point you stop building ships. So enjoy it while you're doing it, and keep doing it for as long as you can. Like Kirk said, don't ever give up the command chair. Don't ever let them take it from you. That being said, I do appreciate you taking the time to watch and listen to my rant, and y'all have a great time. And I will catch you in the next video. Bye bye.